Kate Brundage, and I'm the Certification Program Manager for the National Board of Public Health Examiners, or NBPHE. We're located in Washington, D.C., and we're available by email or phone anytime during business hours. Today we'll be discussing the following topics: the NBPHE, history, board of directors, statistics and growth, why the CPH, benefits and testimonials, pilot program and findings, a snapshot of employers who are actively seeking the CPH credential, the CPH process from cradle to grave, so certification overview, eligibility, and what it means to be provisionally certified versus actively certified. We're going to talk about the exam content, computer-based versus paper-based examinations. We're going to talk about registering for the exam and how the exam is scored. We're also going to discuss the study resources, the exam fees and discounts, and then we'll touch upon recertification, what you need to do after you're certified. So the NBPHE and the CPH exam, the CPH exam is not just, the CPH is not just an exam, it's a credential, which means it has a governing board and has eligibility requirements, an entrance exam, and a recertification process every 2 years with a code of ethics by which all CPH professionals must adhere to. The CPH exam acts as a standard benchmark to measure an individual's grasp of contemporary public health topics, which is needed. The recertification process elevates public health professionals to be on par with other health professionals, maintenance of their license, certifications, or other credentials. The CPH Code of Ethics, which all CPH professionals must adhere to, assures that essential services are being delivered based on evidence and equity. So how did the CPH come about? In 1980, the U.S. Surgeon General Office came out with a call to the field to establish task forces for the creation of a credentialing public health workforce. In 1999, Dr. Mohammed Akhtar, then the Executive Director of APHA, and Dr. Al Summer, the Dean of Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and the Chair of the Board of ASPPH, decided to jointly form the APHA-ASPPH Task Force on Public Health Workforce Credentialing. In 2015, the NBPHE was established with a board of 20 members, and the inaugural certification exam was administered both in the U.S. and international locations in August of 2008. The NBPHE announced the award of its inaugural CPH credential to over 500 qualifying professionals. The board of directors is comprised of 6 committee members, 13 board of directors members at large, 2 honorary members, and 2 staff members. The following logos are some of the organizations that employ the NBPHE board members. These member organizations support the efforts of the NBPHE in credentialing of public health professionals. They do this by spreading the word of the growing credential and by providing meaningful continuing educational opportunities for the community of CPH professionals. Some of the organizations here you'll see are the American Public Health Association, the Association of Prevention, Teaching, and Research, Association of Schools and Programs of Public Health, Association of State and Territorial Health Officials, and NACHO, the National Association of County and City Health Officials. You'll also see that CEPH is listed, or CEF. CEF is the Council on Education for Public Health, which is the organization that accredits schools and programs of public health. So schools that are accredited through CEPH are eligible to sit for the CPH exam. Another accrediting body that is listed is FAB, the Public Health Accreditation Board. FAB just put out an article in their newsletter about the CPH and is really endorsing the credential and trying to build on the culture of certification. We will also be exhibiting, a 2-day exhibiting at American Public Health Association's annual meeting this upcoming year I believe it's in Atlanta in October. We will also hold a 2-day learning course. It's an 8-hour learning course for 2 days where you go and sit and learn in a classroom and learn about the 5 core areas of the public health so you can prepare for the exam. So, since 2008, the CPH has certified over 5,700 that needs to be updated, the 5,500 CPH professionals. There are about 500 provisionally certified CPHs at any given time, and I will go into what that means a little bit later. We have about 2,000 applicants in the pipeline at any time, and now there are 11 CEF accredited schools and programs of public health requiring the exam for students to graduate. Because of this, the cost of the exam is reduced to that group. There are also 10 schools and programs that have 20 to 30% of their student body sit for the CPH exam, and they're extended a discount as well. There are also 5 organizations endorsing the CPH for their membership or personnel. These organizations are the Commissioned Officers Association, United States Public Health Service, the Army Public Health Center, Navy Nursing Corps, Army Nurse Corps, and the American Public Health Association. Here's a graph of the growth of CPH since inception in 2008. We have about 5,700 CPH professionals. We certify about 1,100 a year. So why the CPH? The CPH credential is the only credential of its kind for public health that demonstrates not only your knowledge of key public health sciences, but also your commitment to the field through continuing education focused on emerged and established public health issues. The #1 vision of the NBPHE is to professionalize the field of public health and to raise the visibility of the field itself. We strive to do this by administering the only public health examination that encompasses all of the core and cross-cutting areas of public health. We want to create an elite community of certified graduates, working professionals, faculty, leaders, and pioneers in the field of public health. The CPH credential, like most certifications, demonstrates dedication and commitment to the field beyond your education and into the workforce. The vision also includes having a core standard body of knowledge for public health professionals to reference, and lastly, to promote continuing education and lifelong learning. There are many reasons to get certified. Public health professionals need to stay at the forefront of their field. This is accomplished by thoroughly understanding the interaction between different specialized areas of public health, learning these strategies to cope with disasters, and constantly staying ahead of any threat. The CPH credential helps public health professionals to achieve these evolving goals. The CPH credential distinguishes you as a public health professional at the cutting edge of an ever-evolving field. Some of the benefits include showing your public health expertise by evidencing mastery of core sciences of public health. Demonstrate commitment to public health beyond your academic training. Advance cohesiveness and collaboration with your professional peers by starting from a common foundation or an elite community. Invest in your career and future. Distinguish yourself from others with the only credential in public health that encompasses all 5 core areas and cross-cutting areas. Distinguish yourself from others in the job market. The CPH tells employers and the public of your constant level of preparedness. It certifies your commitment to the field, it raises the bar in public health, increasing professionalism, and creates more awareness of the importance of quality public health workforce. You can also stay current on best practices in education, and the CPH assures the community for which you serve and protect that you've met and maintained a national professional standard. While there are many reasons to sit for the CPH exam, we'll stick with the following 4, and I'll read some testimonials that speak to the benefits of sitting for and successfully obtaining the CPH exam. This here is Tanya Smith. She is one of our pilot cohort members, which I'll discuss in a little bit, and she says, though I don't hold an MPH, I bring many years of invaluable real-world public health experience to the table. I reviewed the ASPPH CPH study guide as well as other study resources. 3 months later, I successfully passed the first exam to be offered to candidates based solely on prior work experience. It has been one of my proudest professional accomplishments. Salary increases and promotions. This is Laura Ricardo. She's with the Army Nurse Corps, United States Army. Once I received my passing notice of the CPH exam, I received an $80,000 bonus incentive bonus that was offered at that time in 4 increments and continue to proudly serve my commission. Prove that you have met and can maintain a national standard of public health. This is Patrick Harper, Lieutenant Commander of the United States Public Health Service, and he says that my CPH affirms that I possess the means to positively change lives, and it motivates me to remain dedicated to doing just that. I accept this challenge proudly in honor of my fellow CPH certified colleagues, my branch of service, and most importantly, the nation whose health I have sworn to protect, promote, and advance. I want to pause here briefly to tell you about our CPH pilot program that we offered. In the summer of 2015, we opened up our eligibility criteria to include individuals that have 5 years of work experience in public health plus a bachelor's degree in any concentration. The office was flooded with about 800 applications, and at about 750 were qualified. Many of these individuals took the exam and they passed, and now we're seeing that the CPH is really populating the workforce because of these folks who are currently already working in public health. These individuals who are obtaining the credential are pushing the certification forward into their health departments, and the NBPHE is starting to see employers prefer or even require the CPH for their employees. The CPH is populating the workforce, and so by obtaining the credential, you're ahead of the game. You'll see here some statistics from our pilot program. The Food Drug Administration, Indian Health Service, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Army, many folks applied, and you can see here many applied from the United States Public Health Service. This is a screenshot of all the employers that are currently actively seeking CPH professionals to work for them. So if you are currently looking for a position, you can go to one of these organizations' websites and you'll see that they are requiring or preferring the CPH in order to work for them. So the CPH process begins with eligibility. You need to determine whether you are eligible under the 4 pathways that we provide as eligibility criteria. Next, you would prepare for, schedule, and sit for the exam. And lastly, we'll discuss recertification and continuing education. So, in order to be eligible, you would have to be a student or an alumni of a CPH-accredited school or program of public health, or have 5 years of public health work experience plus a bachelor's degree in any concentration, or we have a hybrid, which includes having taken the core courses at a public health, at a CPH-accredited public health school or institution, along with obtaining a relevant degree, or having 3 years of public health work experience. The CPH exam has 200 questions with 12 domains. And once you're certified, there is a recertification process with a code of ethics that all need to adhere to. So eligibility. All graduates of CPH-accredited schools and programs of public health are eligible to sit for the exam. Now there is a difference between when an alumni sits for the exam versus when a student sits for the exam. However, we will talk about that in a moment. So all graduate students who have completed or are enrolled in the core courses of biostatistics, epidemiology, environmental health, health policy and management, and behavioral and social sciences are eligible to sit for the exam. Our third eligibility criteria includes, it's our new criteria. The pilot did so well that we decided to make it a permanent criteria for eligibility for the CPH exam. So individuals who have a minimum of 5 years of public health work experience plus at least a bachelor's degree in any concentration are now eligible to sit for the CPH exam. So the difference between those who are students and alumni when they apply, if you apply as an alumni and you sit for the exam, you're going to be certified immediately after you pass that exam. You're going to get the CPH credential, you're going to get the certificate, you're going to be able to place the CPH behind your name, and you'll be placed on our Find a CPH Registry, along with have access to our Recertification Portal. And that happens pretty much instantly. However, those students that apply, if you're still in school and you, we won't certify you until you have fully graduated. So those individuals who are applying as a student, once you graduate, that's when you'll be able to obtain the certificate and put the CPH behind your name and so forth. But in the meantime, you are provisionally certified, which means that you have passed the exam, but you're not an active CPH yet. This might not relate to a lot of you, but I just wanted to let you know. So the CPH examination. There are 3 sections of the exam. One section is general principles. It's about 25 items of just general knowledge in public health. The core areas then and the cross-cutting areas are the other 2 sections. The core areas, you're going to have 30 questions in biostatistics. You're going to have 30 questions in epidemiology, 30 in environmental health sciences, 30 in health policy and management, and 30 in social and behavioral sciences. You're only going to have 25 items for 25 questions for the cross-cutting areas of communication and informatics, diversity and culture, leadership, professionalism, program planning, public health biology, and systems thinking. Okay, so the CPH exam is a timed exam. There are 200 items. You have 4 hours to sit for the exam. You're not allowed to bring in scratch paper, pencils, or calculators. However, I've been told that the biostatistics questions are more about recognizing formulas than actually doing math. All questions are multiple choice and single best answer, so there are no essay questions. You have 2 exam options. There's computer-based and paper-based. We offer the computer-based testing the whole month of February, the whole month of June, and the whole month of October. Testing facilities, I believe, are open Monday through Sunday, and we have about 200 testing facilities. There's about 5 to 10, I believe, per state, and you can key in your zip code into our website, and then that'll tell you which testing facility is closest to you. What you would do is schedule the exam online, and then you would go to that testing facility near your home and sit for the exam. We also offer paper and pencil examinations. This is mostly for those universities that want to have, 20 of their students test at one time. So we'll set up a paper and pencil examination for those folks on their campus. And there's a minimum of 8 to qualify, but if the Army Nurse Corps wanted to do a paper and pencil exam at their offices, we would be able to set that up for you. So there are 2 ways to take the exam. Now there is a difference between computer-based exam and paper-based exam. The computer-based exams, you're going to get instant scoring, which means the minute you hit submit on your test, you're going to get your results. You have 72 hours to register or reschedule. Paper-based examinations, there's a 30-day registration deadline. So if you are going to sign up for one of our paper-based examinations, you're going to have to register 30 days in advance, and they don't really budge on that. So you just got to remember with computer-based scheduling, you only have 72 hours to schedule, and with paper-based, you would have to schedule 30 days out. It also doesn't include instant scoring, so you're going to wait about 3 to 4 weeks to receive your scores by mail. I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions real quick before we go into registering for the exam. Okay, it doesn't look like there are any questions, so we're going to continue. So there's a couple different ways to apply. If you're a student or an alumni, you're going to go to our website and you're going to go to Register Now, and you're going to click on Student and Alumni. That's going to kick you to AMP's website. They are our testing vendor. And what you would do is create an account online with them. the school or program that you attended would log into the system and verify that you did attend that school or that you are currently enrolled in this school. And then you would be able to pay online and schedule your exam. The first reschedule is free. So if you schedule your exam online and you realize that you have a conflict and you need to reschedule, the first exam reschedule is free. The second exam reschedule is $125. So just keep that in mind. If you need to reschedule twice, it's going to be $125 additionally than the CPH exam cost. So just keep that in mind when registering. And we're going to talk about discounts a little bit later. And at this time, I don't think vouchers apply to the Army Nurse course, so we'll just skip over that piece. The other way to apply is if you're applying through the new public health work experience with the 5 years of public health work experience plus a bachelor's degree in any concentration, you would go to this middle box here on our website. You go to register now, and you would click on this middle box, which would take you to our web form application where you would fill out the entire application, upload your transcripts and resume, and you would pay online. That would then be, your application would then be reviewed by our board of directors, who then would decide if you are eligible or qualified to sit for the exam. And then once you're deemed eligible and qualified to sit for the exam, you would pretty much follow the same process as the students. You would, let me back up a bit. You would then create your account online, and while there is no verifying piece because we verify it with the board of directors, you would create your account online and you would just schedule your exam. So the process is a little bit different for those two. One, you're going to do it all with our testing vendor. The other one, you're going to apply through NBPHE through this new public health work experience. So you enter your public health work experience into the application, upload your transcripts and resume. You pay online. So the Army Nurse Corps is being offered a discount for the exam. You guys are being offered $315 to sit for the exam, and the examination, the standard price is $385. So what you would do is you would register for the exam, you upload your transcripts and resume, and you would pay the $385. Once you sat for the exam and were successful, we would mail you the refund check, the difference. That's the way the process is currently. However, going down the road in the future, that discount will be programmed in, so you won't need a refund check. However, at this point in time, you're going to pay the full fee and then be refunded. I believe it's the $70. If you are approved for the exam, AMP will contact you to schedule your exam. If you're not approved, you'll be refunded in full. So scheduling the exam, you have 2 years of eligibility from the time that you apply. All scheduling, rescheduling, deferrals, all of that must go through AMP, and their phone number is right here. Again, I said that I'm going to send this presentation around to everybody so that you have access to this information. And just to mention one more time, the first reschedule is free, the second reschedule is $125. Okay. So how is the CPH exam scored? Each exam, each item is examined for its performance and discrimination and difficulty. Content-based analysis determines the minimum passing standard required to achieve certification. Each exam is equated. However, since they're all different, we don't have a passing score that we could give to you. Each exam has its own passing score. But we can say that the pass rate is more than 75%. So the CPH exams are created using multiple choice test items drawn from a CPH item bank. The NBPHE selects faculty and practitioners each year to write new questions and write new items for the item bank. The item writers are trained on writing items for standardized exams and are given specific assignments based on deficits in the item bank and their particular area of expertise. New item writers are assigned to experienced item writer for mentorship who assists with those edits before the items are submitted. More experienced item writers submit their items directly to the new pool for review. New items are categorized by difficulty and the specific area of knowledge of the content outline that the item addresses. Items are submitted for a review by a committee of item writers who refine and edit items before they are submitted to the bank for a second round of review. At least one new test form is developed each year. A form review committee reviews each exam as a whole and makes further edits to the individual items in order to, in addition to the composition of the form itself. So following the administration of an exam, the form review committee examines the performance of each item and makes adjustments for items which do not discriminate between strong and weak examinees or simply do not perform well. A third committee then sets the passing score based on the modified Angoff method. The modified Angoff method aims to pass candidates who are minimally competent. If you want any more information on item writing, please email us and I'd be glad to give you some more information on our item writing process. So score reports. The candidates that pass the exam at the computer-based testing location are going to receive their scores printed out for them. Those who pass are just going to see that they passed with their score. Those who fail will see a scaled scoring broken out by the domain areas so you are able to know which area you need to study harder for next time. Because you're an individual and you're with the Army Nurse Corps, your scores are not shared with anyone. If you applied as a student or an alumni, your scores would be shared with the school. However, they sign non-disclosure agreements and confidentiality agreements to say that they will not share the scores. Retaking the exam, there are multiple testing administrations a year. So again, we hold the computer-based exam the whole month of February, the whole month of June, and the whole month of October. So there's no limit on how often a candidate can retest at this time. I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions about eligibility or anything we discussed so far. Okay. All right, so study materials. The CPH Content Outline is basically the bare bones. It's the outline of the exam. If it's on the CPH Content Outline, it's going to be on the exam. So you want to use the CPH Content Outline as your guide as you're going through the ASPPH CPH Study Guide. I've included the CPH Content Outline in the handouts on the right-hand side of the screen that you can download. There are sample questions on our website, but mostly those just give you the format in which the questions will be asked, rather than, if the questions are similar to the questions on the exam. It's more about format, so you understand that there are 4 key choices per question, etc. We also have 3 practice exams, and then we have many live and archived webinars that you could listen to in order to prepare. So as I said, this is the CPH Content Outline, and it's your map to prepare for the CPH exam. If it's on the Content Outline, it's on the CPH exam. So you want to use this. It's like 14 pages or something. You want to just print this off and take notes on it, and just as long as you understand the key topics on this Content Outline, you should be good. Again, I said we have examination orientation practice items. There are 13 sample questions in the format of the CPH exam, best single answer. We also have CPH practice exams, and you can go online, key in your name, and take them. I believe there's 2 50-question exams and 1 100-question exam, and they will tell your scores. And there is the website if you would like to take the practice exams, and all of our study materials are free to you with the exception of the ASPPH CPH Study Guide. Now the study guide is 88% of folks that use the study guide are successful in passing the exam. The study guide is actually free to Army Nurse Corps personnel. There's an overview of each section, suggested readings, definitions and terminology, sample questions, 100-question practice tests, 2 50-question practice tests, and study tips. So what you want to do is you want to print out the content outline and take a couple practice exams and purchase the study guide. As I said, personnel of the Army Nurse Corps have free access to the study guide. So when you go to cphstudyguide.asppph.org, you would create an account, and in the discount code area, you would put Army Nurse CPH 123 as shown here. And again, these slides will be provided for you. So this will give you free access to the study guide. We also have 3-hour-long webinars on each of the core areas. These webinars are recorded by, are led by an expert speaker and ASPPH members. And each webinar is designed to help you understand the core and cross-cutting areas of public health. They're recorded every January and placed on our website, so we're actually in the midst of this right now. We had the social and behavioral webinar yesterday. I don't know if anyone was able to join that, but it was recorded and will be placed on our website shortly. So you can go ahead to our CPH study resources on our website and register for the remaining 5 of those courses, webinars. Again, they're 3 hours long, and they cover the exam content, so they're really good resources for you. It's free to listen, and if you're already certified and you find that you're running against the clock for recertification and you don't have enough credits to recertify, you want to go ahead and listen to some of these archived webinars in order to gain credit. I mentioned earlier at the beginning that we hold an Learning Institute at APHA's annual meeting. So every year at APHA's annual meeting, we hold a 2-day learning course. It's 8 hours each day, and you learn all of the core areas and cross-cutting areas of public health to help you prepare for the exam. Then on the 3rd day, we hold the CPH exam by paper-based. And you are welcome to sit for the 2-day learning course and then participate in the CPH exam the following day if you wish. So this upcoming year in 2017, APHA will be held in Atlanta, November 4th through 8th. So if you are interested in doing the 2-day learning course, please stay tuned for information on that, and we'll be putting it on our website soon. The fee for the learning course is $350, and then again, the fee for the CPH exam is $315 for Army Nurse Corps personnel. I mentioned that there are some schools and programs that are strongly requiring or preferring the CPH. And we'll go into that in a minute. I just want to go over the pricing one more time. So the standard fee for the CPH exam is $385. And then we have the a category for individuals, for schools and programs that offer about 20 to 30% of their student body sitting for the exam, or large organizational groups such as the Army Nurse Corps. You are offered a discount of $315 for our examination. Then there are those schools and programs that require the exam, and they're offered $250 for the exam. Again, you have, so it's $315 to sit for the examination, and then you will have access to free study materials, including the ASPPH CPH study guide. So some of the schools that are requiring the CPH exam are here: Brigham Young, St. Louis, Toro, University of South Florida. You can also see that here are some schools and programs that are offering a discount. So these students are being encouraged to sit for the exam, so that way when they enter the workforce, they already have the credential in hand. And here are the organizations that are offering a discount. Now, Army Nurse Corps isn't on there yet, so please forgive me. We'll add that, which will take us to recertification. I'm just going to stop one more time to see if there are questions, and we'll get into recertification. Okay, great. So CPH recertification is a biannual recertification process where you have to accumulate CEs. So you're going to want to accumulate 50 recertification credits every 2 years and report them in a self-reporting online system on our Recertification Portal. The fee is $95 every 2 years to recertify to maintain that credential. Some of the activities that you can count credit for are college courses. I believe you can count about 15 credits per course that you attend, conferences and professional events, such as if you attend APHA's annual meeting, or if you attend any kind of public health related annual meeting or special event, you can count credit. It's the typical rule of thumb is 1 CPH credit per 1 hour of attendance, up to 8 hours a day. We also have a leadership and a volunteer category. This is any kind of work you're doing outside of your job that is helping further the field of public health, and that caps at about 20 credits. But you can go ahead and key in about 20 credits for volunteer and 20 for leadership if you so wish, sitting on a board or a committee count as well. And then you could also do a CPH accreditation site visit, FAB site visit, or write questions for the CPH study guide, or write questions for the CPH exam. We also extend research credits for medical residencies and dissertations, listening to podcasts, webinars. Really anything that's related to public health will count for credit for recertification. Currently, this is what the Recertification Portal looks like. So you'll see that under Cynthia's name, she has her digital badges. So the more credits you input, the more badges you're going to earn. You'll see here there's a pie chart that shows pre-approved providers and other credits. Now, she only needed 50 credits to recertify, and you'll see that all of her credits, 54 of them, are in non-pre-approved credits. Now that's okay. If you go to an event that is not pre-approved by NBPHE, you can still count credit for attending those events as long as you make a case for how they relate to public health. So we do have two ways then. We have pre-approved events and then we have non-pre-approved events. You'll also see here that you can, there's a portal within our portal that has providers and credits that are pre-approved that you can kind of look at. That's also on our website if you kind of want to look a little earlier. You would report your activity within the portal, request an extension in the portal, and again, there's recertification history. I said that you can find CEs and providers in our portal, and you can do that right here where this little red arrow is. That will help you to see a list of all approved activities. And what you would want to do is just select your criteria and hit submit, and it would bring up all of the pre-approved activities that you can attend for credit for CPH recertification. However, you'll see up here where it says location up at the top, there's in-person or distance learning. Many of the in-person, there's a fee attached to it, but the distance learning is many archived webinars and online trainings that you can listen to free of charge to earn credit. As I mentioned, we have digital badging. These are visual representations of a skill or achievement, and we want to increase engagement of CPH with these badges. So the more badges you earn, the more that they're going to show up here on your Find a CPH registry. Some of the badges include Superstar Attendee, Coursework Champ, Star Presenter, Grants Master, Lifelong Learner. So you'll see here that the more credits you enter, the more colorful the badge becomes. And then when an employer goes to our Find a CPH registry to find, to make sure and verify that you are certified, they will see your badges underneath your active status. They can also print your certificate cover letter as proof that you are a CPH. We have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page. The Facebook page is for anybody interested in learning about the CPH. The LinkedIn page is for only folks who are CPH professionals. So you're going to want to friend us in LinkedIn after you are fully certified, and that will give you updates on recertification activities that are happening in your area, upcoming events, upcoming changes to the exam or anything like that. And the same with our Facebook page. It'll give you notifications on upcoming webinars and events that we'll be holding or that you can gain credit for. So those are two really good groups to join. We have CPH merchandise. After you're certified, you can go to Cafe Press and you can purchase shirts, mugs, bags, pens, anything that you would like that says CPH on it. And then, of course, you'd receive your CPH certificate in the mail once you're certified. And this is an example. So I know I went through that pretty quickly, but that's the program. I'm going to see if there are any questions here. If there are any questions, you can key them into the right-hand side of your screen, and I'd be happy to answer them. Okay. It looks like there are no questions coming in, so obviously if you have questions, you can email us here at info@nbphe.org. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the exam, studying for the exam, the process, and any kind of questions about how to register. My information, this presentation is going to be emailed to you shortly after with the links, that the handouts that I've also put on here on the WebEx platform. All of this will be emailed to you shortly. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to my presentation on the CPH, everything you need to know about certified and public health. Have a great day, and thanks again. Bye.